Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. But if you're new here, my name's Tyler and I just do consistent content on all things related hockey in the NHL overall. And yeah, we're discussing Patrik Laine today. I've talked about him in the past regarding his rumor to the Carolina Hurricanes. It was one of the first trade rumor videos I did on this channel. And while that has reached a stalemate at this point in time, at least, what has come out through TSN's show earlier today, I believe, with the likes of Darren Dreger and Pierre Lebrun has been significant. Dreger has come out, and that's probably why you're watching this too, and has stated how the Jets are fully, absolutely interested and willing to part ways with the likes of Patrik Laine to help the holes in their lineup. As we all know, the Jets have major holes on that defense. They're losing more key defensemen to free agency this offseason, along with the likes of all the defensemen they lost over the past year on that right side especially, and they need help at that center position, that center depth, especially on that second line. They need a 2C for sure, and they're planning to address it this offseason. So Savard is weighing all of his options here, has open ears to the likes of shipping off Patrik Laine, which is insane. And I know a lot of Jets fans are upset about it, and I don't blame them at all. Laine is only 22 years of age. He has plenty to give. He was drafted second overall in 2016, so you'd imagine that he's a fan favorite by all Jets fans, obviously. And while things haven't looked great with his relationship with the Jets, if I'm a Jets fan, the last thing I want to do is get rid of Laine personally. But I understand why this is happening, why Cheveldayoff's ears are open for interest, and plenty of teams have shown interest. The Carolina Hurricanes have been interested, have had preliminary discussions via Pierre Lebrun and the show earlier on TSN, but it really didn't reach anything, to no avail. But the likes of the Columbus Blue Jackets, on the other hand, this team right here, they have shown interest. And I want to know if you guys want to see me hold these up during the video when I talk about, say, teams or players from the teams. I just got these for each team in the NHL, so I'll either hang them up on my wall behind me in some form, or I will hold them up like this. So I'm just doing this in the meantime because I feel lazy. I don't want to hang them all up right now. But yeah, the Columbus Blue Jackets have shown interest, and for good reason. And another team that I think could be connected to the Patrik Laine that I don't see as many people talking about is the Philadelphia Flyers. I've seen many reports, including the likes of NHL Rumors Daily on Twitter. Make sure you check him out. He has great content, roughly 30,000 followers there, and is very spot on with his intel and the information he gets. And the Flyers are definitely looking to move some big contracts this offseason to acquire a bona fide goal scorer, and Patrik Laine is a guy there without question interested in big time. So those are two teams I'll be discussing today that have interest in the likes of Patrik Laine, what kind of deal we could see happen, if anything. And I understand that Patrik Laine being dealt at this point in time will take quite the haul, but that's why I'm going to do my best to try to explain to you what kind of return the Jets could receive and why it would make sense for both teams. But getting on to Patrik Laine some more, he's 6'5", just over 200 pounds, as I mentioned, drafted second overall in the 2016 draft, only to the likes of Austin Matthews at first overall. And Laine had 28 goals, 63 assists this past season for them, and had a career high season in his rookie year, as we all know, with 44 goals and a total of 70 points. Remarkable. He had 50 points in his sophomore year, so kind of a sophomore slump, only 30 goals, and had even 28 goals this year, but was a better playmaker this year for sure. And the controversy we know with Laine has been his connection with the likes of Mark Scheifele. He loves playing with Mark Scheifele, and when he does play with Mark Scheifele, he's not too happy, which has led to more of these rumors coming, on top of him being on a bridge deal of $6.75 million for one more year. So I'm assuming if a deal gets done, I think it would be in the best interest for both teams, whoever acquires him, and for the Winnipeg Jets, and making sure an extension is in place. It will be $8 to $9 million without question, regardless of his defensive woes. He's definitely deserving, given how young he is and how much promise he has already in his young NHL career. But an extension in place for a deal would give a bigger haul for the Winnipeg Jets, which would be realistic for them if they really are going to consider dealing the likes of Laine. And for the team acquiring him, yes, it would be a big cap hit, but is the insurance that you aren't giving up all these, say, picks, prospects, or key players in your lineup currently for only one possible year of Laine. Yes, he's an RFA, so it'll be harder to do, but there have been plenty of scenarios where RFAs ended up not reaching a deal with their team and having their rights being traded off. So things to consider. But when it comes to the Columbus Blue Jackets, let's start there. They have just over $7 million cap space, so the likes of Laine, they would be able to afford him, but it won't be easy. But the kind of guys that you could see in a possible deal for the Jets, assuming an extension in place, is very interesting. You of course have the likes of Ryan Murray, the defenseman. Yes, he's injured almost every year, it seems, but he is very solid when healthy. Left-handed defenseman, 26 years of age. You also have David Savard, who in my opinion would be a very strong fit, has a cap at 4.25 mil, and back to Murray has a cap at 4.6 mil. Savard is 29 years old, is really in the prime of his career, has looked very solid for Columbus at times, and they're top four for sure, and they both have 1 year left on their contracts and are then UFAs. So assuming if they were part of a deal per se, I would guess both of them possibly, then you'd have to imagine that extensions would be in place for both, and it would help them immediately for the Winnipeg Jets side of things on their defense. But these are just some players to consider. Could they possibly throw in Andrew Peeke instead of one of them? Peeke is one of the more coveted prospects by the Columbus Blue Jackets on defense. He's only 22 years of age, has a cap at $916,000, and he's on his ELC currently, I believe. So it'll be interesting what happens there, but my assumption is that if a deal were to happen with the likes of the Columbus Blue Jackets or the Philadelphia Flyers, you'd have to guess that a key prospect would be part of it. Yes, they want NHL ready talent, but don't you want a prospect that is just on the verge of being NHL ready? And both these teams have centers that are arguably their best prospects that could very well be the future second line centerman for the Winnipeg Jets. And when it comes to the Columbus Blue Jackets, we all know that is Liam Foudy. Now I know he may seem off limits, but if you're going for Laine and an extension is in place, then you have to give up Foudy, no doubt about it, in my opinion. Yes, a draft pick may need to be thrown in there as well, but I'm just exploring the possibilities here. I think a lot of different scenarios could happen with Columbus because they could also help address the goaltending situation for the Columbus Blue Jackets having a backup. Now, Merzlikins or Korpisalo, I don't think either of them would be dealt because they would be more of a bigger piece in that deal. And obviously, the Blue Jackets aren't looking to address the goaltending as a major need in this kind of deal. So maybe the likes of Mattis Kivlinkins, I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but he's one of their goaltenders as well that can maybe come in as a backup as just part of the trade as well because they have plenty of goaltending depth. I'm not sure, but this is just something to consider, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts as to what kind of trade could you see proposed, assuming an extension is in place. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I think it would make more sense for both teams, obviously. And I would also like to throw out this. It's going to be very interesting if Patrik Laine does in fact get dealt to the Columbus Blue Jackets and how he would fare with the likes of John Tortorella, because Paul Maurice is a very strong defensive coach as it is, but bringing Tortorella, he's arguably top dog when it comes to that category. He's been throughout his entire career as a head coach. He's amazing for the Columbus Blue Jackets on the defensive side of things and making sure their forwards are hounding the puck and great on their forechecking and backchecking. Now bringing Laine into the equation, which surely does not fare well on the defensive front, you'd assume that Tortorella is going to do everything he possibly can to help his two-way game. And I think that would be amazing for the likes of Laine. Yes, they may butt heads at times. Tortorella is a straight shooter. He will tell you how it is. He may bench you for a game or whatever it may be if you say lack your defensive abilities. But nonetheless, I think that would be great for Laine and helping him adapt to being a better two-way forward. If there's anyone, in my opinion, that I think could really help with that, it is the likes of John Tortorella. So just something to consider, because that very well could be something fun to watch in the future if a deal were to happen. But when it comes to the Columbus Blue Jackets, again, they could go down many different avenues, but I think these defensemen for sure would have to be part of the trade. I think Liam Foudy would definitely have to be part of the trade as well. And I just don't really know exactly how many players and if, say, a first-round pick would be involved. It really all depends on if it's going to be, say, with an extension and without. So comment down below, guys, your thoughts on that. But let's get to the Philadelphia Flyers. The Flyers from NHL Rumors Daily. Shout out to them. I don't know if I did that in this video. If I did already, then okay, but if I didn't, they're great. Check them out on Twitter. They get a lot of intel right and their information. They have connected the Flyers to Laine for a couple days now, and for good reason. The Flyers were going all in on Ehlers this past season, and while that did fall through, they have shown heavy interest, it seems, in the likes of Laine. They definitely want to free up some cap space, get rid of that JVR contract for sure, via salary dump or whatever it needs to be, because he has a cap of over $7 million for 3 years. Gostisbehere, they probably plan on shipping away as well. So could he be a part of this deal? He could be. That is something to consider for sure. Ghost could bode well in a change of scenery with the likes of Winnipeg, because his time in Philly surely seems done, I would assume, at this point in time. But the Flyers have a cap space of $7.83 million, and they are surely surely looking for a forward in their top 6, a bona fide goal scorer, a guy that can really be their leader in goal scoring going forward, because they really don't have that go-to guy and haven't for a while. And Laine surely would fill that void big time, and they have the pieces to make it happen. When it comes to defense, they aren't getting rid of Provorov, and going back to Columbus, they aren't getting rid of Werenski or Jones. I just don't see that happening. If it was one of them, I think it would be close to, if not a 1-for-1, and I don't think that is a route that the Jets want to go down, and giving rid of the likes of Laine just for a star defenseman, because while that star defenseman is great in both Jones and or Werenski, Laine surely over time is going to continue to increase in his value, so it just wouldn't make sense for a 1-for-1. It would only address one hole out of the many holes in that lineup. So getting to the Flyers, I don't see Ivan Provorov being part of any deal, honestly, but I do see many players being part of it if they were, say, in an extension. So Travis Sanheim, Felipe Myers, those are two defensemen that really keep an eye on. Sanheim has a cap at 3.25 mil for 1 year as an RFA, and Myers is currently an RFA as a right-hand defenseman, and he, I believe, is only 23 years old, and Sanheim is 24, so they're both very young, and I think both of them could very well be part of a deal. And while that would hurt the Flyers' defense, it will make up for it in the end and gain a guy like Laine without question going forward. And when it comes to other guys I could see, when it comes to the main prospect, you'd have to think it would be Morgan Frost. Morgan Frost, one of the better, if not the best prospect for the Philadelphia Flyers, had a cup of coffee with them this past season, and 7 points in his in 20 games with the Flyers, and he's only 21 years of age, was drafted in the first round back in 2017, and Foudy was drafted in the first round in 2018 by the Blue Jackets. Wanted to mention that also, but Frost is a center that is another guy who could very well be the future 2C for the likes of the Winnipeg Jets. So you'd assume he'd have to be part of that deal, especially in an extension, along with multiple defensemen possibly. Gostisbehere could very well be part of that deal. Like I said, I'm not sure exactly how many pieces would be in play, but I would assume it would be plenty if an extension is in place. So take that into consideration. The Flyers would immediately get so much help on that offensive front with having a bona fide goal scorer that's going to continue to get better, and the Winnipeg Jets would have young, controllable assets at both the defensive and center position. So something to consider there. That's just my thoughts. I don't know. Maybe if they don't want to go for Frost, maybe they tie in possibly arguably their best prospect in York, who was drafted in the first round a couple years ago, the defenseman. Who knows? But I think that there is good reasoning, good debates as to why both these teams could land the likes of Patrik Laine. It will take a haul, no question, but that's exactly what the Jets are looking for if they are going to consider shipping him off. They want to address all these holes in the lineup, and yes, they can do it through free agency, they can do it through other trade avenues with the likes of Ehlers, but they are definitely considering the likes of Laine being dealt because they know they can address all of this essentially in one big deal. So take all these things into consideration and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Laine is actually going to be shipped off hearing these latest rumors? Where do you think he would land? What kind of return would you expect for him? And trust me, this is all just speculative now when it comes to the kind of players I could see him play. I could be completely wrong, but these were just ones that stood out to me for obvious reasons as to why they would be good fits and fill the holes of the Winnipeg Jets lineup. But comment all your thoughts down below, guys. This is absolutely insane when it comes to the Winnipeg Jets. If they ship off Laine, it is going to blow my mind. I'll make sure to cover it right away for you guys. That'll be an insane video. But nonetheless, this offseason is going to be insane, and I simply cannot wait for it. And I hope you can't wait for it too. It's going to be awesome. But make sure to comment down below if you enjoy this kind of hockey content. Hit like, hit subscribe, guys. We just passed 1K subscribers. Thank you all so much. Now help us reach 2K subscribers. I know we will get there sooner rather than later. You guys are amazing. But comment down below all your thoughts, guys. Check out my previous videos if you haven't. I think you'll enjoy them with other trade rumor type videos. I did one earlier today on my Coffins, so if you're interested in that, check it out as well. I got plenty of videos for you guys, and stay tuned for live streams in the near future. No, I will not be live streaming the Stanley Cup Finals today. I was debating on it, but I am going to probably be out. I won't be able to witness the whole game tonight. So because of that, I won't be live streaming it, but I hope to do at least a couple more videos in the Stanley Cup Finals going forward before it reaches an end. So make sure to stay tuned for updates regarding live streams, and I will be live streaming the first day of the NHL draft on October 6th. So I hope to see you guys there. But thank you all so much, guys. Comment down below all your thoughts. Check it all out. Check previous videos and all that great stuff. And I'll be back very, very soon.